So a year ago, I went to the hotel and sat on the bed of drag superstar Peppermint, and a year later, we're back on the bed.
I've been missing you.
I've been missing you. And what an honour, once again, to sit on your bed again. It's fantastic. What a year it's been for you.
It's been insane.
And I keep saying every time you're on, I keep saying I'm so proud of Peppermint. Because I first met you, it must have been 8 years ago.
I feel like it was longer than that.
Maybe it was 10, yeah. Because I think we're coming up for maybe our 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
What have you learnt, would you say, from being on the show?
I've learned a couple of different things, like, a better way to apply white eyeliner, which seems to be the huge trend this season. As an older queen, I felt like I was at a disadvantage a lot of times. And we might not walk in the door being the trendiest, hottest new thing. When people say, what did you learn? I think the biggest thing someone could take away from an experience like that is I've been changed because of the different personalities that I was around. I can't say that. I can't say that! One of the biggest fears that I had was I'd be rejected by all these other queens, that I wouldn't get along with the other queens, that it would be so catty and so petty. And it wasn't.
Well, that's one thing that I learned from you, for knowing you for 10 years, nearly 10 years, that you are not a catty queen, a bitchy queen. And I kind of was interested to see how that was going to play out on screen, knowing that you were going in there.
To some people, it's so boring. To some people, it's just boring, You're in this fish tank, and it's closed, and there's no oxygen, and there's no food, and there's no sleep. So, of course, your reactions are going to be even more heightened sometimes. And I might have even said things even a little bit more like quickly than I normally would have. I guess my biggest fear is that I'm going to turn into this evil, heartless bitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's possible.
And what about the trans community? How have they reacted to your...
There's been mixed reactions.
That was a massive show for you, wasn't it?
It felt really good to finally allow it to be a part of the show in more than one way, personally, and then also just maybe for the sake of the show. The one thing it highlights for me is that there's so much of a need for queer people of color, and trans people to be... We are very underrepresented in television and media in general. So I'm happy to be one voice that can contribute to the conversation.
How different is it to perform in front of Ru and you've got Michelle Visage and the guest judges?
You might not be lip syncing really for your life, but they're not going to kill you. But
it feels like
I may be going home. And when I did lip sync, I just wanted to go all the way. I didn't want to reserve anything. The Snatch Game was my fear. I knew I was going to have a hard time with it. I was afraid of it. I did not do a good job with it. So I just had to accept the fact that I'm going to have to really give them a show. I'm afraid of doing impersonations. It really doesn't even appeal to me in the slightest. However, performing is what I live for.
Yeah.
So I was totally fine with that.
I've got to ask you about the UK audiences too, because you're here in London. You've been in Dublin just recently.
We were in Dublin. We've been touring Europe, but we were in Latvia and we were in Dublin. I've been recognized several times. I thought, oh, this is an American show. Maybe a few people watching it, on the internet. Nobody knows.
Oh, it's massive here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I walked the street and people are just an hour ago.
Yeah.
So we were at the cafe. Somebody was like, oh my God. People just being fans of the show and rooting and saying, oh, I love you on the show. You're great. Hope you win. But they all say that. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they're just saying to everybody, you better not.
It was a tricky one for me this year and this season because I knew you and I knew Charlie Hyde.
Yeah.
And that was oh my God, who do I vote for? And
whoever gets the furthest.
Not that we get the chance to vote, but it's who do we root for?
Actually, they really do count the online presence and kind of the impact that some of the people have online.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mostly via the hashtag of their team name, so Team Charlie Hyde, Team Peppermint. So if you're watching, make sure you hashtag Team so-and-so. Peppermint should be the one you put.
Absolutely. I've got to say, it must be difficult for you to keep tight-lipped because you obviously know what's going to happen and
I do
nobody else knows that's watching.
Most of the season is shot, so there is a lot of secrets that we have to keep. But in terms of the winner or even the top 3 or 4, we don't really know.
Still a mystery.
Because they shoot it in a way that makes it very difficult for anyone in the room to know really what just happened. They make their own decisions and then they announce it at the live finale, which is at the end of the month. Yeah,
have you got to prepare big things for this? Because this is
so much pressure,
demanding, isn't it?
It's I've never spent more money on clothing. And I spend a lot of money on clothing as a queen. I want to represent and do well, but I don't want to go overboard. Well, I guess he's from the UK. I don't know if he's like bi. What does that mean when you like live in two countries? Not bi-coastal. Whatever. The point is he lives in the UK and he also lives in New York, Milan Breton, from Project Runway. He's designing a look for me. Also, Garrow Sparrow is designing a look for me. And so these are designers that I was never able to afford.
So you're getting a really big opportunity to do all these things. It's fantastic, isn't it? I'm living my dream, and I was really already living my dream before the show. Have you learned anything from doing the show? What was the one thing that you would say is the most important thing that you've learned?
My one takeaway from doing the show is it's worth it to really try to take the time to enjoy the moment, whatever that is. It's just worth it.
And take a bit of a risk.
Yeah,
too.
it's worth it to take the risk. It's worth it to take the moment and the time. And stick with one airline. So you can rack up those points.
That's a really good tip. It's fabulous to see you.
Oh, baby.
I'm so pleased that we got the chance to hook up when you're here, because I know that you're just jetting everywhere. It's like from one country to another.
Yeah.
You've got so many gigs to do and performances. I wish you all the best of luck with the final. Be really Come on, girl. Good luck. Never dare.
You can ask me anything you want. Do I tell the truth? I'm happy to spill tea, but it might be very cold tea.